Hey Beaumont, Troy here. This marks our final week in the Hunger Games scavenger hunt. So let's head over to Megan for the last couple pages of the excerpt. But stay tuned for fun announcements afterwards.
Alrighty everyone, we are now going to read the last 4 pages of the Hunger Games. So let's see how this book ends. I go back to my room to collect a few things and find there's nothing to take but the Mockingjay pin Madge gave me. Someone returned it to my room after the games. They drive us through the streets in a car with blackened windows, and the train is waiting for us. We barely have time to say goodbye to Cinna and Portia, although we'll be seeing them in a few months, when we tour the districts for a round of victory ceremonies. It's the capital's way of reminding people that the Hunger Games never really go away. We'll be given a lot of useless plaques, and everyone will have to pretend that they love us. The train begins moving, and we're plunged into the night until we clear the tunnel and I take my first free breath since the reaping. Effie is accompanying us back, and Hamish too, of course. We eat an enormous dinner and settle into the silence in front of the television to watch a replay of the interview. With the capital growing farther away every second, I begin to think of home, of Prim, my mother, of Gail. I excuse myself to change out of my dress and into a plain shirt and pants, and I slowly, thoroughly wash the makeup from my face, and put my hair in its braid. I begin transforming back into myself, Katniss Everdeen. A girl who lives in the seam, hunts in the woods, trades in the hob. I stare into the mirror to try and remember who I am and who I'm not. By the time I join the others, the pressure of Peeta's arm around my shoulders feels alien. When the train makes a brief stop for fuel, we're allowed to go outside for some fresh air. There's no longer any need to guard us. Peeta and I walk along the track, hand in hand, and I can't find anything to say now that we're alone. He stops to gather a bunch of wildflowers for me. When he presents them, I work hard to look pleased, because he can't know that the pink and white flowers are the tops of wild onions and only remind me of the hours I've spent gathering them with Gail. The idea of seeing him in a matter of hours makes my stomach churn. But why? I can't quite frame it in my mind. I only know that I feel like I've been lying to someone who trusts me, or more accurately to 2 people. I've been getting away with it up until this point because of the games, but there will be no games to hide behind when I get back home. What's wrong? Peeta asks. Nothing, I answer. We continue walking past the end of the train, out where I'm fairly sure there are no cameras hidden in the scrubby bushes along the track. Still, no words come. Hamish startles me when he lays his hand on my back. Even now, in the middle of nowhere, he keeps his voice down. Great job, you 2. Just keep it up in the district until the cameras are gone. We should be okay. I watch him head back to the train, avoiding Peeta's eyes. What's he mean? Peeta asks me. It's the capital. They didn't like our stunt with the berries, I blurt out. What are you talking about? He says. It seemed too rebellious, so Hamish has been coaching me through the last few days, so I didn't make it any worse, I say. Coaching you, but not me, says Peeta. He knew you were smart enough to get it right, I say. I didn't know there was anything to get right, says Peeta. So what you're saying is the last few days, then I guess back in the arena, that was just some strategy you 2 worked out? No, I mean I couldn't even talk to him in the arena, could I? I stammer. But you knew what he wanted you to do, didn't you? Says Peeta. I bite my lip. Katniss. He drops my hand and I take a step as to catch my balance. It was all for the games, Peeta says. How you acted. Not all of it, I say, tightly holding onto my flowers. How much? No, forget that. I guess the real question is what's going to be left when we get home, he says. I don't know. The closer we get to District 12, the more confused I get, I say. He waits, for further explanation, but none's forthcoming. Well, let me know when you work it out, he says. The pain in his voice is palpable. I know my ears are healed because even the rumble of the engine, I can hear every step he takes back to the train. By the time I've climbed aboard, Peeta has disappeared into his room for the night. I don't see him until the next morning either. In fact, the next time he turns up, we're pulling into District 12. He gives me a nod, his face expressionless. I want to tell him that he's not being fair, that we were strangers, and that I did what it took to stay alive, to keep us both alive in the arena. but I can't explain how things are with Gail because I don't know myself. That it's no good loving me because I'm never going to get married anyway, and he'd just end up hating me later instead of sooner. That if I do have feelings for him, it doesn't matter because I'll never be able to afford the kind of love that means family to children. And that leads to family to children. And how can he after what we've just been through? I also want to tell him how much I already miss him, but that wouldn't be fair on my part. So we just stand there silently, watching our Grimley station rise around us. Through the window, I see the platforms thick with cameras. Everyone will be eagerly watching our homecoming. Out of the corner of my eye, I see Peter extend his hand. I look at him unsure. One more time, for the audience, he says. His voice isn't angry, it's hollow, which is worse. Already the boy with the bread is slipping away from me. I take his hand, holding onto it tightly, prepare for the cameras and the dreading moment when I finally have to let go. Alrighty, that is the end of the first book of the Hunger Games. The second book is called Catching Fire, and it is available through e-resources or here at our library. Thanks.
Beaumont, you've done such an amazing job in our Hunger Games scavenger hunt that we've decided to extend it to the end of June. At the end of June, Megan and I will draw 2 tributes names to win a Hunger Games prize pack. So if you're interested in the scavenger hunt, the riddles are available on our social media accounts, mainly Facebook and YouTube. So head over to those and figure out the clues, then head out into Beaumont to find the posters. Good luck, everyone. May the odds be ever in your favor. Clue number 5 has been a little troublesome to say the least. It is out there, but we've had some reports that it might have been moved or not in the original location. So let's add this. We'll add a little bit of a clue to help pinpoint the location. We'll say it should be in between a diamond and a rectangle. That's all, folks. Bye.